When it comes to video games this year, it seems like we're seeing quite a lot of 2s. We got Dishonored 2, Watch Dogs 2, Gravity Rush 2, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Skyrim 2, oh wait, that's just the special edition. And we also have Titanfall 2, the latest game developed by Respawn Entertainment and published by Excruciating Anuses, also known as EA. Some of you may remember the original Titanfall from back in 2014. It was a multiplayer-only shooter with no real story, only a sort of radio drama that played over the multiplayer matches that no one really paid attention to. But it was a multiplayer-only game that sold at full price, and it amazes me that only a couple of years ago releasing a game like that at full price was considered an arsehole thing to do, and now we're basically buried in those kinds of games. But thankfully, Titanfall 2 does have a single-player campaign, and it's actually surprisingly fun. It's a fairly standard good versus evil story. You play as Jack Cooper, a rifleman in the good guy underdog military called the Militia, who is at war against the bad guy oppressive military called the IMC. Cooper is being trained by this guy, Lastimosa, to be a pilot, which is essentially someone who can operate a Titan, but his training gets cut short when an attack on the IMC-controlled planet of Typhoon very quickly gets fucked up. Like, super duper fucked up. Before Lastimosa dies, he transfers control of his Titan, BT, to Cooper, so Cooper along with BT are forced to finish Lastimosa's mission and stop the Grinch from ruining Christmas or something. I don't fucking remember. The story is pretty good. It's certainly good enough to keep you going till the end, but the campaign is only 6 hours long, so take that for what it's worth. I did like the relationship that Cooper and BT built up over time. They have some pretty good back and forth dialogue, even though most of the comedy comes from the fact that, BT's a robot. He doesn't understand human things like sarcasm and catchphrases. What a fucking idiot. But I personally think it's the gameplay that carries the experience. It's pretty damn fun. It's very fast-paced with a lot of jumping and shooting and punching people so hard that they die, which never stops being entertaining. It sometimes reminds me of those old Duke Nukem Wolfenstein type of shooters, where it's just you, a bunch of enemies, and enough ammunition to blow up the Houses of Parliament. Well, that's half the time. The other half is spent having big robot battles in your Titan, which is also pretty fun, but it's a big change as far as the style of gameplay goes. Not that that's a bad thing, it's good to have gameplay variety, and, well, you gotta have Titans in Titanfall, don't you? Otherwise, what are you gonna call the game? A futuristic fun time hour? That would be... Actually, that's not bad. Well, anyway, the campaign has fun gameplay and a pretty good story, so that's just fine with me. Now, considering the last game was multiplayer only, it makes sense that they would put a lot of effort into this game's multiplayer too, and it is pretty gosh dang entertaining. There are a lot of different game modes to play depending on what you like. There's the standard money-based bounty hunt, there's a pilots-only mode, a titans-only mode, a sort of 1v1 type thing, and the core gameplay is fun. Like in the campaign, you have to switch from the fast-paced running and gunning to the slower, more tactical Titan battles pretty quickly. I like that, especially in the multiplayer, because it forces you to switch between two different mindsets whilst fighting other players who have to do the same, and that's... good. Damn it, EA, why can't you just let me hate you? Huh? Why do you have to release two fun multiplayer-based shooters with surprisingly good single-player campaigns in a row? In a row, EA! Just make more shitty games so I can make fun of you, please. There are quite a lot of different kinds of guns and Titans to unlock, so the multiplayer will keep you going for a while. And I don't know if they improved this since the last game or if it's always been like this, but the parkour mechanics in this game are really good. The wall running, double jumping, butt sliding, they all work very well and help keep your speed up. Plus, you have these tactical abilities you can use, some of which are very useful for moving around the map more quickly. My personal favorite is the grappling hook, because grappling hooks are fucking badass. You know, I've always thought that the idea of a sequel was to take everything good about the first thing and add on more good stuff whilst also making the original good stuff better. Sadly, in the world we live in, this is very, very very rarely the case for anything, movie or video game. But it is the case for Titanfall 2. It does everything Titanfall 1 did, but better, and for that I think it deserves praise. The campaign is good, but even if it wasn't, I would still be happy that they even put a campaign in, purely because it shows that AAA developers and publishers can take feedback seriously. People said that if Titanfall ever got a sequel, that it should have a story, and now it does have a sequel, and it does have a story. Hallelujah. So I'd say Titanfall 2 is worth a look. It's definitely a fun game with a fair amount of multiplayer content, and apparently it's not selling too well at the moment, so I'd say pick it up if you haven't. Yeah. What? You want a fucking cookie or something? Review's over. Scram. Titanfall 2 gets my patented Best Game Ever that has Titanfall in the name award. It's very prestigious. Good job, Respawn.